For a deeper look at the police work behind this shooting, we bring in now ABC 10 reporter Brandon Rittiman. Brandon, we know you've been talking with multiple law enforcement sources about this case.
And Brandon, we also know serving any warrant can always be dangerous. Talk about the challenge of doing this in a public park.
Yeah, and really, we need to learn a lot more about how the officers decided to do it that way. But I can tell you, this is prompting the whole policing world to take a closer look at how they handle the service of warrants. The vast majority of warrants are served on people without incident. It is incredibly rare for this to become a hostage situation. I spoke with a retired FBI agent, Glenn Norling. He told me that similar to the scrutiny we've seen on no-knock warrants or high-speed chases, this is worth looking at deeply so we can learn from it.
There is absolutely a very high bar right now because an innocent member of the public has lost their lives just by being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Was this worth it for law enforcement? And that's something that law enforcement has to contend with each and every day.
The reality is it's just tough for anyone to make a value judgment about that right now because there's a lot left to learn. I spoke briefly on the phone today with former Sacramento Police Chief Daniel Hahn, and he actually said that's what stood out most to him about this case, how little information CHP and Roseville police were sharing in the aftermath of the shooting. Last night, they weren't sharing key details. What was the warrant for? We now know it was a search warrant tied to a freeway shooting in Sac County. Did an officer fire their service weapon? They didn't answer that either, but today, Roseville PD confirmed officers did in fact fire their weapons. Norling, the former FBI agent, trains people for active shootings. He says this is a reminder that it can happen in places we wouldn't expect. And his advice is to be prepared, but not paranoid.
Don't want to walk around just concerned that something bad's going to happen everywhere. It's the same thing when we're driving. You know, you want to have good situational awareness so you know what's going on around you, and you can react to that. And you can react to that very decisively if you've thought about this in advance.
And I want to leave you with one key unanswered question here. Was this the plan? In other words, did CHP officers decide to serve the search warrant at this public park, or did it just end up that way? Officer Rick Ortiz, the spokesperson for CHP on this, says he doesn't know what the plan was. If there are lessons to be learned here, we're going to need to know those details to learn them.
Right. And we know that serving search warrants can be very dangerous for everyone involved. Do we know at this point how situations like this, as they start to pile up, unfortunately start to pile up, do we know if they're having any impact on police training?
Well, that would be the hope. If there is a lesson to be learned, that it might affect either the way that you train people to plan for an operation like this, if in fact there was an issue with the planning, or if it has to do more with the plan changing on the fly or something that was done, how do you respond to that? And you know, that level of nuance is really what we need to get into, but we don't have the answers we need right now to know what those lessons are. That's what we're going to be watching for in the weeks, months, possibly years to come.
Keep in mind, this was on a Thursday afternoon, 12:30 in the afternoon, a husband and wife out walking, enjoying the evening, and then this happens. Unthinkable.
It is unthinkable, and I think that's why it's got everyone's attention right now. Everyone feels like you should be able to go to your neighborhood park and not have to worry about something like this. And that was really the point of the retired agent that you heard from was, you know, just have a look around the situation of whatever environment you put yourself into. You know, he used the grocery store as an example. You know how you came in, look for 2 other exits. And then don't worry about it the whole time you're shopping, but know a way you might move yourself to respond to a situation if something were to happen.
A sad sign of the times. Our Brandon Rittiman, we thank you, sir.
Indeed. Thanks.